Day, doctors.
George Allen here. Good day, doctors.
Hey, this is Dr. Christy from New Jersey. Good day, doctors.
Go! You're watching Dr. Politics.
Hey, welcome everyone. It is Friday, and it is Dr. Potts and Political Architect Show. We are here live today. It is February 23rd. David, can you believe we're almost back to daylight savings time? We're about to get rid of the standard time where it gets dark early. And
well, I'm glad. I wish they'd never changed the whole clock thing to begin with.
I agree. You know,
maybe at one time it was necessary, but I don't think anymore.
It was, I mean, technically this is standard time right now. Right. We're in, but still, you know, it's like, I think, you know, it's, it's just ridiculous. Marco Rubio actually had a bill where he would have made this permanent.
Yeah. Isn't there one state that doesn't recognize it? Like Indiana?
Arizona.
Arizona. Okay. Yeah. I knew there was someone that didn't recognize it. Well, that's good. Well, I don't like it, but I am happy that the weather's starting to get a little warmer, and so hopefully in Northern Virginia we've escaped snow. Knock on wood. I don't know.
Oh, I think we're done with the snow. I don't think we're going to see any more snow until next year, frankly.
Yeah, I hope. I hope that's the case. A lot of times though, we get socked with a surprise late storm.
We've only had, I think we had maybe 4 inches total of snow.
Yeah, probably not that much. So. It's better than when I was a kid. We'd get hammered.
I remember 1987. We had that big back-to-back blizzards in January. It was right in the middle of. It was right before final exams were going to start.
That's right. Yeah, and I remember the
we
big
were out
one
for an entire week.
Yeah, I remember that.
Actually, no, one day. No, we were out 4 out of the 5 days. So I remember. Back in school, I had a buddy of mine. It was either him or I would always, so how's your weekend, you know?
Yeah.
And so I go, so how's your weekend? He goes, you mean my week? Well, I go, it's not a full week. We're in school today, you know? So I just
I remember. Yeah, I remember that because I remember thinking as the days kept getting by, and school's canceled tomorrow. School's canceled tomorrow. Yeah. I think you're right. I think one year we almost made it all the way to that Friday, and. So an entire week off. So
it's like Snowmageddon.
Back I wasn't a kid then, but I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in 2009, the federal government was shut down for 4 days. Then they had liberal leave was the 5th day.
Okay. You know? Well, I remember Snowmageddon. And I was living in a place with the ex in Fairfax, and I was driving by there the other day, and I went through that old sort of complex. And in my mind, I remembered what it was like with all that snow. Yeah. And that still stood out to me. So when I'm driving through there, I remembered, wow, this was buried almost with that snow.
I had the GMC Envoy, which was the same as the old GMC Jimmy. They redesigned it and raised the price and called it an Envoy. Okay. But that was it's an SUV, and it was covered with snow. That's how much snow we had.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and my father had the FJ Cruiser. Remember the FJ Cruiser?
I do know the FJ Cruiser, yeah.
I love that car. But that was supposed to be good in the snow. But I love that car.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's, what do you call it? No, she's not, Craig. She is not going to win. She's going to lose, And
is that the end of her though? If she loses because it's her home state, it's kind of hard to lose your home state.
she should, but I think she's going to stick around to Super Tuesday. Kind of like how John Kasich did that in 16. He stuck around to Super Tuesday, and after he got walloped there.
Well, in some ways, you kind of understand that if she feels Trump will falter for some reason, but she probably is turning off a lot of people now, the way she's running it, the way she's doing it. I don't know, but
yeah, and our favorite governor in the state of Maryland has a new book out.
Yeah,
it is the 101 Ways America Went from Sweet Land of Liberty to Weak, Woke, and Wobbly. This is great. This is a lot like The Conscience of a Conservative book.
Okay, good.
Governor Ehrlich is the Barry Goldwater of our time.
Oh, yeah.
You know. And it's great. It's a reference book. You can look up stuff in here and you find it. And there's some great forwards written here. Like if you know about the U.S. military, you go to page 2. Defund the police is page 7. School loans is page 21. Due process. I mean, everyone needs to go buy this book. It's available on Amazon. Or better yet, come on out for to the Maryland GOP. We're doing a book signing party with the governor. You get your book signed right there with the governor. Right now, take advantage of the early birds. It's only $75 and $100 or something like that for the early birds on this. But come on out. It's going to be in Annapolis. Come on. It'll be a lot of fun. Governor's a great guy. Come on out, see the governor, get a book, get it signed. And if you're lucky, you may win all 5 of his books.
Wow. I didn't know he had 5.
He's got 5 books. This is the 5th book. I've got actually all of them. First one was Turn This Car Around, I think, was the first one. Then it's Bet You Didn't See That Coming was the one about the Trump win. And I mean, he's got some great stuff. I keep telling him he needs to write a book about Maryland politics, because Maryland does have a very interesting politics over the years. I mean, Marvin Mandel was he was acquitted, but he did go to he was a Democrat, and he was run out of office, after Spiro Agnew, He was not run out of office, at least not as governor. But Marvin Mandel, I mean, there's a whole culture of the Baltimore City, Baltimore County stuff that goes on down there. Like Ross Pierpont used to always say they're like 5 tribes of Baltimore. You've got the eastern portion, which is Dundalk, Essex, Middle River, Rosedale. Then you got the Bowley's Quarters, and Perry Hall, and the White Marsh area. Then you got the Towson area. You've got Cockeysville and Hunt Valley in that area. Then you've got Arbutus, which is on the other end of where the University of Maryland, Baltimore is situated out of. And they're all very and if you go, I don't know if you've ever been to Arbutus, Dave, it's like a land stuck in time. Much like a lot of eastern Baltimore County is like that too. Like you go to Essex, Middle River, Dundalk, it's like nothing's really changed since Bethlehem Steel used to be there. Although now there's a whole big development happened by Sparrows Point.
Okay. Well, I think Ehrlich's from Arbutus, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He is from Arbutus. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that part.
Yeah, he's from Arbutus. And it's funny, what is it? I was at a meeting at NASA, and we were talking. The guy goes, "Yeah, I used to play ball with Bob Ehrlich, And I go, "Hey, Gov, one of your buddies works over at NASA. He's like a high-level fed over there." He goes, "Yeah, he was a really smart guy. The governor remembers everyone."
That's good. Yeah, what happened? Baltimore County used to be fairly conservative, right, or at least Republican.
So was Montgomery County. Like when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
Montgomery County had like 3 or 4 states. Let's see, we had 2 or 3 state senators. We had several delegates. District 15 in 1990. In 1990, we swept. We kicked out the last Democrat there. We swept District 39. That's the district where you had Barry Celebrity, Matt Mossberg, and you had a no relations, a P.J. Hogan, who was the senator. He was Connie Morello's chief of staff. And then the Democrats bribed him into switching parties.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And then you had Ray Beck. But, I mean, we had our fair share. And we had 3 members on the county council back then, I want to say. The first
Wow.
county executive in Montgomery County was a Republican too, Jim Gleason.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, it's
And that was
interesting.
that. Yeah. And Baltimore used to be heavily Democrat. Now Baltimore's like basically trending more red.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, Eastern Baltimore County, which was all run by Democrats like Norm Stone and those guys, they're all gone. It's all Republican now. Eastern Baltimore County, the great Senator Johnny Ray Sally, Rick Metzger,
Oh, wow.
Robin Grammer.
Well, then there's hope then. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, so you think Larry Hogan's got a shot at?
I think Larry Hogan's most likely will be our next senator from Maryland.
Well, that'd be good news. That'd be good news. Yeah, we'll need him. We need the seat.
Yeah, I mean, do I agree with Larry Hogan on everything? No, I don't. But
Yeah.
I think Larry Hogan is got a really good chance of being our next senator from
Yeah,
Maryland.
I think so. Yeah, and he'll be with us at least half the time, I would assume. So that's
And
good.
I know he's got a tough primary challenger in Robin Ficker, because Robin Ficker has $2 million cash on hand the last file.
Yeah, but he's an also ran. I mean, he's been around so long. I just
Yeah, but it's like there you go.
Oh, good. All right, good. Well, Greg's maybe right. I think you're right. Yeah, I think Hogan can win it.
Nobody thought Hogan was good. In 2014, nobody thought Larry Hogan would be governor. I was one of the early adopters to Larry Hogan for governor. And Larry, he made history, became governor. And I guess we're going to have to forget what Trump said about NATO. You're right.
Well, one more question on that. Isn't it true that in the case of Hogan, his father was a member of Congress, right?
Yes, he was, and he was going to vote to impeach President Nixon.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, I think he had the famous line where he chastised Nixon about I forgot the exact line, but that he challenged him.
Yeah, but honestly, it's about Larry Sr. I don't want to say anything. He's not. Robin's 41st campaign.
Yeah, it's maybe true. Yeah,
but I tell you, it's funny. Maryland has a history of people running for office all the time.
Yeah.
But before, let me just finish up with my thoughts on Larry. Larry Hogan Sr. was a great congressman, right? Again, I didn't agree with him. Then again, I was maybe about 2 years old, like if even that.
Right.
When that happened, but I think you stand with your party. Look at the Democrats. They never went after Bill Clinton. They didn't go after Hillary for Whitewater, and all that stuff.
They circle the wagons.
Yeah, we don't.
They circle the wagons.
Yeah, we don't. We just start firing.
Yeah. Well,
and then ask questions later sometimes.
Yeah. Well, it also helps them to circle the wagons because they're going to have the media behind them, kind of making it less damaging or bad.
True.
So that I think plays into it, but yeah, you're right. I guess we get a little too squeamish and sort of seem to give in early.
Here's the thing. Okay, who would you rather have in the United States Senate, Larry Hogan or Angela Brooks?
Well, Hogan, of course, yeah.
Would you rather have Larry Hogan or David Trump?
Well, Hogan, of course, yeah. I agree.
Yeah, exactly. We support our party's nominee.
Right, of course. I agree.
Was Dan Cox my first choice for governor? No. But I supported him in the primary. I mean, after the general.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. But on the other hand,
I had a homemade yard sign for him.
Well, I agree 100%. However, there are going to be some argues on the right that may be upset that Hogan's asking for our support, but they may feel, well, you're not supporting our nominee for president, for example.
Well, actually, he did say, I'm not sure where. I did see he said he would support the party's nominee. He would support Donald Trump if he's the nominee.
Okay.
Will he really do that? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think that's fine if he says that. That's fine, and yeah, that's good. I mean, Youngkin and here in Virginia, it was the same thing. I mean, he didn't want to embrace MAGA, but at the same time, he had to acknowledge, I'll back the Republican nominee. So, and speaking of that, so you think Haley gets out soon?
Haley, really, in the name of party unity, she needs to get out.
Yeah, I agree. But
Yeah.
but I guess maybe she feels maybe Trump will falter or won't run I don't know.
Well, look, if that were to happen, we have a convention.
Yeah. But I guess she wants to try to grab as many delegates as she
Yeah.
can. But the concern I would have for Trump is all these things have got to be costing him a lot of money. The E. Jean Carroll nonsense where she takes money out of them. Then
But,
this ridiculous New York decision where no fraud was committed, and they get
a lot of our
300
viewers. Yeah, but see, a lot of our viewers don't remember the Clinton Legal Defense Fund. Remember Bill Clinton? He had all of those bimbo eruptions after bimbo eruptions. Everyone seems to forgot about that, but it's like he should. I think he should set up a Donald Trump Legal Defense Fund. Frankly, so one, you can also raise money from that, and you get different sources of ways of raising money. So the Legal Defense Fund, would be good. Idea for the president to have, because if he wins, they're just these liberal prosecutors are gonna double down. I mean, look, in Maryland, speaking of Bill Clinton, remember what's Linda Tripp? Do you remember Linda Tripp? She lived in Howard County, liberal Howard County.
Yeah.
And prosecutors they went after her for wiretapping. What's her name?
Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah, in Virginia. And in Virginia, there is no consent for recording, from what I understand. So, or it's a one-party consent or something like that. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's why I think he does need to have a legal defense fund, frankly. But I tell you this, I know the president doesn't want to have revenge, but there's a little bit of me that says, no, turnabout's fair play. We can reopen the whole Hillary Clinton and her servers all over again. We can reopen a lot of those things and go after her, frankly.
Yeah, she was something. But Linda Tripp passed away, right? She's no longer with us.
She is no longer with us. Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, and
remember her kid? She had 2 kids. I remember.
I do not remember. I do not recall that. But our state legislature is almost at the halfway point. They're not there quite yet. Or they might be. I should cross over. I forget. They might be. I don't know. One of our viewers will let us know if the Maryland legislature is at crossover or not. But anyways, I know your state, so they're almost out of there, right? They're only there for 60 days?
Yeah, it's a 60-day session, and we've been through crossover. A bunch of bills will come to Youngkin's desk, hopefully, and I'm sure he will veto. They passed a lot of bad stuff, so I trust him.
I mean, how do you feel about casinos over in Tyson's Corner in your old stomping grounds?
Yeah, I'm not in favor of it. I think that ended up dying or table.
Oh, good. I don't even. What about the Caps moving to Alexandria? I mean, you know how bad the traffic is there.
Yeah, but I think it'd be a good thing. We don't have a major league franchise in Virginia that we could look at having too. And I think that would really help especially, and we lose the FBI, so you might want to try to find some other.
Well, here's the. I don't know if the people in Delray are gonna. Remember the Redskins were gonna build a stadium there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not. He's one and done. Sorry, David. He doesn't get to be reelected.
But like David said, in the future, yes, you're right. If he wants to run again, and I'm sure he will.
Well, I mean, remember Virginia, you have that timeout rule. You take a timeout for 4 years.
Yeah, he can't succeed himself. He wants to come back, but it's tough.
You know what's funny? I don't know. I'm surprised George Allen never came back after.
Well, I mean, he ran the one time against Kane. Remember, he did lose that one race.
No, that was for U.S. Senate, though.
Oh, was governor?
No, this is after he was governor. In 2000, he ran for U.S. Senate.
He beat Rob. We knocked off
and
Rob.
Then he lost to Warner.
No, Kane beat him. Kane ended up beating him.
Oh, Kane, yeah. What a worthless senator he's turned out to be for Virginia.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, no, he's bad. But then Allen, I guess, figured he'd had enough of politics, and so
yeah,
at least of elected.
And I tell you, he is the elder statesman. Well, he's not even that old.
Yeah, no, he's not that old. But when he got elected governor, he was just in his early 40s.
I know. You guys have a lot of Republican governors over the years. You had Governor Dalton.
No,
He had, and then his widow ran for with Earl Warren, if you remember.
Edwina
Was
Dalton.
she? Yeah, was she like was she top of the ticket, or was she his running mate, lieutenant governor?
No, Edwina was before him. Edwina was state senator, and she ran for lieutenant governor against Beyer in '89. Lost that one. That was a surprise that she ended up losing that one.
That was
And
the
then
Marshall
the
Coleman race in '89, right? When the Marshall Coleman race.
Yep.
So, and then he ran again as a third party candidate.
To try to stop Ali in that race. And I think Warner put him up to it. I think Warner put Marshall up.
And remember, what's the guy's name? He ran the year, he lost the primary to Mark Early. Is it Coleman Andrews?
Okay, yeah, but he got out of the race, right? I think that was the thing with Coleman Andrews. He just got out of the race.
That's something that came up.
Yeah. But I think against Early, you're thinking of, for governor was John Hager. Remember Hager, Early?
John Hager, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Hager has since left us. He passed away a few years, but a great guy.
What was Gilmore, Early, and someone else? And Hager was they won. That was a clean sweep. And
Hager got elected lieutenant governor. He got wheeled in, so to speak, through the coattails because you had Gilmore winning early at the bottom of the ticket.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, in that race, and I know we're nerding out the audience on Virginia politics, but in that race, Hager was lucky because he kind of had a weak opponent. His opponent, we thought would be strong. He was a Democrat congressman, but he was just a bad campaigner or just so uninspiring.
Who did he beat? Was that Mary Sue Terry? No,
LF Payne, a congressman from the 5th.
Okay.
So, and I think it was the 5th. So that was a surprise. I'm happy. We're happy, of course, Hager won, but it was a surprise. But as you know, Hager's son, Henry, married Jenna Bush.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see him run for governor one day.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. But
then there was, you guys had some great people that, like Jay Katzen, he lost the primary to Mark Early. He was another good guy, good candidate.
Yeah, Jay's a very nice man. He also, I think, has left us now, but he was a very good guy.
Him too. Is Dick Black still with us?
Yep. Yeah. Dick Black's a great guy.
Yeah.
I first met Dick Black when at NET, and the issue, he was on the library board in Loudoun County, and they were letting in a lot of really bad material that you shouldn't have in a school library. But it was a big issue, and he came to the forefront on that. Now, fast forward 20-something years and think how bad the Loudoun County library and the schools are. But,
that's right. I think he was on Dick Dingman's show, right? American Family with BQ. Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably on that show.
We've had BQ, we've had BQ on our other show.
Okay, yeah, I remember her. She's in Alexandria, isn't she? She's
local. Yeah. And I think she still has a radio show in Texas.
Okay, great.
She may have retired from it, but I think she does like drive in, I want to say Austin or Dallas or Houston, one of those places. Yeah.
So are any of those folks that I might know? I guess most all of them are still with us. I haven't talked to so many of them. I have not kept in touch with. So sometimes I'll see some, but
Kyle Key is still with us.
Yep, that's right. Good old Kyle.
I want to say he might be back in Lexington, Kentucky, his homestead, so to speak. Joe Stars is still with us.
Yep, I remember Joe.
I don't know if you remember Rob Cohen. He was over on the Free Congress side.
I don't know him.
He was the replacement after Chuck Nelson, who replaced Dick Dingman.
Okay, that was after me.
Yeah,
and
that
then
was back when they put up the wall between the two sides.
Oh, okay, yeah. That was interesting because when I was there, you're right, the buildings were connected, so they got townhouse after townhouse, and then you could just walk through.
Yep.
And Paul's office was up the 3rd floor. I remember.
Yep. I remember. He actually picked that because he could watch the trains.
Oh, that's right. And he loved trains. That was his thing. And then remember, and I guess he's no longer with us, Sutton, the old CEO.
Oh, I don't want to speak ill of that. I am not a fan of Bob Sutton, frankly.
No, I wasn't either. I guess I won't speak ill of the dead, as they say, but Yeah, he was quite the
Another record-breaking crowd. That's what's new at CPAC. They shattered their past records of
oh wow,
attendance at CPAC. Yeah,
that's good
it's
news. Good
funny,
news.
and they've. I remember when I was working for CPAC, we had it was the first 10,000 people attended CPAC.
Mm,
You know, and it's just been growing. I mean, now it's like going to the national convention. That's what it's like now. CPAC. They had some great speakers. I think if you're a young person, high school or college or out of
yeah,
college, go to
yeah,
CPAC.
yeah. I
Especially
agree.
if you're looking for a job or an internship, CPAC's where you want to go. Where you can meet these people. Walk down. And if you really want to have fun, walk down Radio Row, and you can catch a lot of famous people down there.
Yeah.
You
The only
know.
thing I regret, like I said, I wish they would go into be in DC in the hotel off the
Well, there's
metro.
nothing in DC that can hold that many people. That's the
Oh,
problem.
really? Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
and by the way, the Gaylord. If you ever stayed at the Gaylord, it is a great hotel. A
Yeah.
lot of hotels in Maryland, you can learn a lot from the Gaylord. They have bellhops. When you come in, you show them your registration. They take the bags from you. They have an elevator on the outside. They take the bags down. They go across. Then they're up in your room before you even get there.
Oh, wow.
That is
Wow.
the best part about the Gaylord Hotel, frankly.
Wow. Hmm.
You
Wow.
know, Maryland Live has a hotel, the casino.
Yeah, I've been there.
No bellhops, no valet.
Huh.
Yes.
Wow.
So a lot of these hotels can learn from them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
But we also had this week. We had a bunch of crazy stuff yesterday. I don't know. Is AT&T your phone carrier, Dave?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yesterday that was crazy. The phones went out.
Yeah. Hopefully, it wasn't too long. It didn't seem like too long for me, but I don't know.
I
Overall.
mean, so it's. I don't know where your YouTube chat is, Susan. It should be. Give it a try. Try Facebook if you can't get to you get it through YouTube. But, I mean, Craig's on YouTube. He's sending us messages.
Hmm.
But yeah. So yeah, that's true, Craig. I really did not notice any problems with AT&T yesterday either. Frankly.
Yeah.
I mean, in the morning when I woke up, I heard that on the news. I called my house. See, by the way, this is why kids, you got to have a ground line. I've got a ground line. So I got two ground lines at my house. But that's the way. It's like it's one of those things. It's like you got to have. But I called my ground line and it worked just fine in the morning. Although I've got people that what do you call? I know people in Florida had no issue, had no things with issues with that. They were having issues more severe than we were.
Mm.
And there was also cyber attack against pharmaceutical IT.
Mm.
So if you try to get your prescription filled today, there was a delay.
Mm. Mm.
So it was, some people have said, "Oh, that's probably the Chinese or Iranians or Russians doing the hacking." That's brought down our cell phones. I'm like, that could happen, but I doubt it. Is it? But the Ukraine war, is 2 years old now. It's and
well, I think it's we're still sort of at a stalemate, so we're continuing to put
they
money
are.
in there. I just don't really know what the end game here is. It's just going to cost a lot of money if you keep this up. So we kind of
Yes.
need to have a decision on what we're looking for, what we're looking to do, and if
and that's another great news too this week. NASA is back on the moon since '72.
what was that?
NASA, we've landed an unmanned
Yes.
probe
I'm
onto the moon.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Welcome, Susan.
Okay, good. I'm sorry though. I'm sorry in a way we kind of left the space program.
I know it is. Barack Obama did not want. Remember, he wanted to be more of a Muslim outreach program than go to space.
Yeah, I
And
think
we
that's too
forced
bad.
to use
I think it's too bad, but
a balloon flying over. Is this another Chicom balloon? Or remember in Colorado, they also remember the balloon boy, the hoax when we were. This is actually when we were at NET.
okay.
The balloon boy hoax of '97, where the guy claimed his son was inside of a balloon that.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah, I do. Wonder what ever happened to that case. I mean, in terms of the guy
Oh, I
confessed.
saw something on YouTube about it not too long ago, and I'm like, hey, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that case, and yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, he did.
You remember when in about the same time in the late '80s when that plane, well, the West German kid took a plane, a small private plane, and flew into the
It's a Red
Kremlin,
Square.
Red Square.
Yeah, honestly, it was a Swedish kid, but you could be right.
Maybe it was German, but they flew in and undetected and
I want to say,
landed.
I might want to double down. He might have been a Swedish because there was an episode of The Golden Girls where Rose was invited there. She had a dream where she goes there, and what evidently happened was she goes there, and they don't take Sophia, and Sophia. B. Arthur's character was, how'd you get here? He goes, oh, I got a ride from that some nice Swedish boy gave me a ride in his plane.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you're right, but I do remember that case.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do remember the Balloon Boy case.
And I mean, it's like interesting news, also this week, we've, CPACs at National Harbor. It's great to have CPAC in person. I mean, this is the second year they're in person at National Harbor, but it's just great, we
Well, it
had
probably brings a lot to the economy. It probably helps them a lot.
Yeah, Maryland Democrats are whining. Evidently, the state tax assessor's office did not get the estimates out to people on time, so the counties are going to do less with money. And I'm like, Crimea River, let them do more with less. Frankly, who cares? It's a non-issue,
Yeah, I agree.
And we've got what do you call? It's a lot of stuff going on, and we've got more crises at the border. The border. You've got those illegal crossings. They've just gone up and up and up. And there was rumors. I haven't seen anything yet about it, but Joe Biden was going to use some executive order.
Yeah, I heard this.
I just think it's funny how he blames the president. I mean, it blames the previous president. For the problems. I wonder if gas prices. But gas prices are back up, right?
Yep, I have noticed. Yeah.
I wonder if he's going to start blaming Dick Cheney and George W. Bush for that.
Maybe.
Or
maybe blame Francois Mitterrand or Helmut Kohl.
Yeah, well, yeah.
He's so out of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least I'm glad he did not have a conversation with Chuck de Gaulle.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. He wouldn't remember de Gaulle. His brain is probably back in that era, so he remembers de Gaulle. I mean, Mitterrand and Kohl. But the other thing is, he confused Angela Merkel apparently and Helmut Kohl. So he said Helmut Kohl, but I think he meant Angela Merkel.
Well, he also did that too. He met with the Russians. The dissident that was murdered by Putin this week.
Navalny, yeah.
Yeah, he met with the widow and daughter in California. He didn't remember their name.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Well,
and I'm hearing that Robert Hur, by the way, from Maryland, he didn't bring up the case of the hunter dying, and what he'd asked. Biden had mentioned that's about the time his son died. And Hur said, oh, well, what year was that? And he didn't know the year. So he didn't really bring up the subject. Now, it then came up in the report when he cited that incident, but that originally Hur didn't bring it up. And so when Biden says, I sat there and listened and I was shocked that he would even bring it up. Well, he didn't. He
was shocked. I mean, a lot of things seem to shock him these days. I mean, his press secretary came out and pretty much scolded the media a few days ago.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's horrible, but a DEI pick, I guess. So,
well, that's this entire administration. I mean, Kamala Harris, the VP, was a DEI pick.
Yeah.
And then I've heard our esteemed, not so much, governor of Maryland. He basically, it's all about DEI for him as well. He wants to have, as somebody told me, he wants to have the hires in Maryland look like the population of Maryland.
Mm,
and
well, how do you think?
Like the population of Maryland,
Well, how do you think he's doing it? I mean, I understand he's a lefty nut, but how do you think he's being perceived?
He could be. He could. It depends on me. Okay, if you ask me, I say he's doing a horrible job. He's done nothing to cut taxes. He's done nothing to untether the inflation with the gas tax. He's done none of those things, and people seem to like him a lot for silliness, so to speak. I don't get his whole thing about liking this, liking that. But he's not as bad as he could be.
Yeah.
Which is really putting lipstick on a pig, and what Sarah Palin says: when you put a lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig.
Yeah, that's right. Big lipstick.
Well, I mean, he needs to do more for every Marylander, not just your typical, Yes, it has. Hogan's no, I don't think Hogan and Bruce have shot up, But I still think he loses to Angela Alsobrooks, frankly, in that primary, David Trone.
I think so. He's got a lot of money.
I know, but Maryland Democrats really want to have an African American senator.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
and progressive Maryland is supporting Alsobrooks.
Okay, yeah.
She's got the Black Caucus behind her.
Yeah.
Although Hakeem Jeffries has endorsed David Trone.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I wonder how much money Trone donated to Hakeem's re-election campaign for that to happen.
Yeah, probably a lot.
That's wrong. I should not have said that. There's probably no kickbacks and sweetheart deals amongst Democrat politicians. They would never do anything like that, would they?
No.
But we had. Go ahead.
Well, I hope I think Hogan can win it, so that would be good.
I think Hogan beats either one of them. I don't, because Larry's popularity is higher than Wes Moore's popularity.
All right.
Actually, Bob Ehrlich's popularity is higher than Wes Moore's popularity at this point. Bob Ehrlich, also one of our most popular governors in the state of Maryland.
Yeah. Well, like I said, but it's a tough state. But Biden will carry it, but maybe, but not overwhelmingly like ordinarily that he would. So he got a shot. And maybe they want to check on Biden because even in Maryland, they probably don't think much of him. So
don't. They love Joey B in Maryland.
Oh, really?
They love the little clown. I mean, nobody wanted him around, but he did come out and campaign for Wes Moore in Maryland.
Yeah, he came out from McAuliffe and made a fool of himself as usual.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You know better than me.
Correct. I think that happened when he went to go talk to J Street a few years ago.
Oh, really?
J Street is it's a very liberal Jewish organization.
Right.
They actually, they're probably weeping about their brothers in Hamas for dying, for the Hamas terrorists for being killed.
Yeah.
And I am glad about it that ceasefire talks that's kind of gone by the wayside.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
No ceasefire until you get every last one of the terrorists. Frankly, that's when you stop firing.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think Netanyahu and the war cabinet is doing well. I think they're hanging tough.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good news.
Yeah, I mean, don't underestimate Labor's ability to go out and make political hay of this whole thing. Van Hollen, Kane. Yeah, they don't. That is true. You know, so is he up for re-election? Who's up for re-election? Is Tim Kaine up for re-election this year?
He is, yeah. But it's gonna be a tough year for us.
Who's running?
terms
Who's the Republic? Is there any Republicans running? Or
Oh
you
yeah,
guys?
there are a bunch of good ones. But it's just going to be kind of tough because if you figure Biden keeps Virginia, I think he will. Then it's hard for anyone
I kind
else.
of wish Jim Gilmore were running for Senate there.
Yeah, I think
He's
Jim's
got
right.
Jim's got the foreign policy experience and all that stuff, you know.
Yeah. Well, we've got a number of good candidates. I just don't know who at this point will emerge.
Mm-hmm. And you've got there's a lot of great stuff, you know, that are going on. We've got a bunch of stuff happening. You've got elections that are going. Super Tuesday. I think Super Tuesday, even if Nikki stays in, it's still going to be a clean sweep, frankly, for Nikki Haley.
She'll be swept. You mean? She'll be swept.
Yeah, she won't. Did I say
she's
gonna? Oh, did I say she was gonna have? I meant President.
You said a clean sweep for her. She'll be swept. Yeah.
Yeah, she'll be swept. And hopefully she gets swept into. You know, honestly, she's somebody I could have supported down the road, but not anymore.
Yeah.
She needs to get out. She needs to leave. It's time. You know, it's time to go home. You know.
Well, and maybe she'll realize that if she loses her home state, I mean, it's going to be kind of hard to stay in there because if you can't win there, I don't think you're going to win anywhere.
Yeah, I know. As Frank Sinatra would say, right?
Yeah, that's right. You can't win there. You're not going to win anywhere. I wrote a column, by the way, in Substack, speaking of Sinatra, talking about New York and how they were stealing Trump's money in that case. And I said I can even, you know, I encourage people, there's a movement to leave New York. And so I did paraphrase the Sinatra quote, start and spread the news, I'm leaving today. So.
Yeah. I mean, well, here's something else, right? If you want to drive business out of New York, I mean, this forceful confiscation of President Trump's assets, you know, that only happens in third world countries. That's what they do when they nationalize. That's what they did. That's what they did in Chile before Pinochet. They nationalized telecom there, whatever you call telecom now, whatever they were calling it, you know, and as a result, Pinochet came to power, you know.
Yeah.
Argentina, they nationalized a whole bunch of stuff over the years. I mean, look at those Middle Eastern countries. They nationalized the oil. That was, you know, Exxon may have had drilling rights, Mobil, you know, or depending when, bunch of the Standard Oil companies would have had the drilling rights. And then they decided to start nationalizing everything.
Yeah, and then people just leave, and then businesses just leave, and they don't invest there anymore.
And that's what's going to happen in New York. You know, if the prosecutor and the governor's office decide they're going to nationalize New York.
Yeah. Well, Kevin O'Leary, the investor, was saying that he considered New York to be a loser state. California, New York.
But you know, I don't think Kevin O'Leary is a Republican. I think it's just he's just an attention whore.
Yeah, I think you're right. But he's saying some good things, so that's good. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I mean, look, when a liberal is agreeing with us, I'm not gonna, you know, push that down. And you heard Jimmy Kimmel has lost his show.
Oh, good news, but I didn't hear that.
I'm sorry, Colbert. I'm sorry, not.
Oh,
okay. Is it not Colbert? Who's the really? Is it the guy? Is Kimmel on ABC or is the guy that's on late night ABC?
I think it is Kimmel on ABC.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Not. He is. I believe he's not getting his show renewed. I can find out in a second for you.
Well, I don't really watch either one of them. I don't know anything about them.
Well, you know,
or is their show, but
television's gone downhill since Johnny Carson left the airwaves, frankly.
Yeah. No, it's not the same. I agree.
And
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, you know, and even Letterman was not that bad, frankly.
Yeah, except towards the end. And Leno, I liked Leno.
Leno, I think, might actually be one of us. He might be a Republican.
Yeah, or at least sane. Maybe not.
Well, the only reason I say that he might be a Republican because he was also on that other show, Last Man Standing.
Okay, I didn't.
Yeah, and the other thing I do want to bring up is how these. Okay, I could be wrong, but who's Ferguson?
Yeah, he's a late night comic.
Okay, I do not remember him. He must have been before my time.
Hmm.
But it's always nice,
Craig Ferguson.
too many illegal, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And you have, it's just crazy,
Well, and I guess the other thing is Biden's still practicing his speech, his State of the Union speech. So it's taking him a while to practice, and all it's going to be is reading a teleprompter. It's still taking him a while to do it.
Yeah. And Butter, you heard the Peanuts cartoon. They're doing a new special featuring Franklin. Because evidently they said that I had no idea. How many times have you watched the Peanuts Thanksgiving special over the years? At least a dozen times, right?
I guess maybe.
And then there's a scene in there that was very controversial where Franklin's sitting on one side of a table and you have all the other kids. You have like 3 kids on one side and Franklin all by himself. This is smacks of segregation, it's crazy, it's like what's happening, But one of the late night TV show guys, I don't know if it's Kimmel or Colbert, one of them got their. It's the one that was allegedly going to be on that list from Epstein. Whoever that is, that's the one that I think got axed. But wow, we're almost at it's what do you call that's going on, and I think the new president, whoever it is, it's going to be President Trump, but he's going to have a lot of things to do. But what we've learned from 2016 is he's able to fix things really fast.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he was on Aftercar. Remember Pat Sajak when he had a late night show?
Oh yeah, he's from Maryland.
I know, from Severna Park actually. And I was, people were, I was telling people we should get him to run for governor of Maryland.
Yeah.
Him or Cal Ripken, but Cal Ripken's not going to do it now because he owns a piece of the Orioles. Maybe Billy Ripken. Let's be Billy Ripken for 2026.
Yeah, that's right. We don't know if they're good.
Vote for Cal Ripken's little brother. That's the slogan.
Yeah, well, Billy was famous in his own right. I mean, he's a Ripken. He played ball. Didn't he play for the Orioles for a bit?
Yes, he did. Then he got traded to the Rangers.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and,
I remember Cal Senior. I remember Cal Ripken Senior.
Yeah, I don't remember him playing though.
No, but he was the coach. He was the third base coach.
Yes, he was. He was also he was also the manager at one point.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then there was that. Then there was that season, the 1988. The 1988 season where they went 0-23.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember.
What I thought was, and then the following year they made it to the playoffs. They went from first to last. And that was the year. That was the year where they lost to the Yankees because that kid stole the ball out of what's his name's glove.
I remember.
By the way, evidently he played. That kid when he grew up did play for the Orioles, which I thought was funny.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Well,
I remember the 88. I remember the 88 season, and then I remember the next year they came back, as I recall, with new uniforms, and then they started doing well.
Yeah, I remember in high school. I was in high school back then, and one of the jokes was Orioles be the first team to replace 2 managers before the All-Star break.
Oh, really? Okay.
And,
who were they? Who?
I'm trying to think who. Well, it used to be. I want to say it was Cal Ripken Sr. He got fired.
Okay.
And he may have been replaced by. Jackson, Frank Robinson.
Okay, all right. Well, Frank was a good coach. Frank
He
Robinson.
was. And they did not fire him. Then they brought Johnny Oates the following year. And
Well, remember,
then they got rid of him for no apparent reason, and that's why they're suffering the coach of Johnny Oates right now.
well, Frank Robinson was the coach of the Nationals when they came here to Washington.
Yep.
Because he came from Montreal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny though, the Nationals. Because Jamie, you remember Jamie from NET, right?
Jamie McDonald?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Jamie and I were talking because Jamie was working for LI then, or
I remember he came to Leadership Institute when I was there. I knew him from NET, and then I knew him at LI. He came over to LI.
And I think this is like when the Nationals were coming in. We were and there was we were having lunch at Union Station, and there was some kid. The TV was on. This kid goes, "I like new things. That's why I like the Nationals." And I'm like, does this kid realize these are just the Montreal Expos that are coming down to Maryland? It's not like you're getting a brand new team here. It's just the Expos are moving to DC. Yeah. And I remember the mayor, Anthony Williams, he wanted to have the name. The Nationals was supposed to be actually just a temporary name, and he wanted them to be called something else the following year. When the new stadium went up, they were supposed to be called something else, but Anthony Williams wasn't mayor, and things just,
Well, I wanted them to be called the Senators, but I was told that the problem with that was DC objected because they don't have any senators.
Well, too bad, DC.
I say
too bad.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm happy they don't. That's the way it was designed. The system was designed.
Absolutely. And brother, you notice nobody cares about statehood for DC when there's a Democrat governor. A Democrat president.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Nobody cares.
Well, they did. I think they did try it, but Manchin said he wasn't going to favor DC statehood. And
when President Bush was president, they were calling President Bush a racist and everything because he didn't want to give DC statehood. Yeah. They did that when president. It's like funny for 8 years when Barack Obama was. He had a super majority in both houses his first 2 years, right? He could have made DC statehood. He could have packed the Supreme Court. He could have done whatever he wanted. There was not one thing the Republicans could have done to stop it.
Well,
which proves to me that they don't care about DC statehood. They only care about DC statehood when there's a Republican president.
Well, the one thing it seemed to me, though, is there's an issue of how would it happen with DC becoming a state, and there are those that argue it would take a constitutional amendment, that they couldn't just do it.
The way I think the way you resolve DC statehood is this. You take Northwest DC.
Yeah.
Make that part of Montgomery County.
Yeah, people have talked about
Take the rest of it, make it part of PG County, and call it a day. I don't even think they deserve countyship.
Yeah.
Because, got news for you, the representation they're going to get in PG and Montgomery County is not any different than what they have already right now.
Yeah,
I agree. The same kind of lunatic, people supporting it. And then you get to vote for a senator and you get to vote for a governor then. Stop your whining, but they don't want that. See, if they really wanted statehood, that's what they'd be talking about.
Yeah, I agree. But
and we are approaching fast. Right. That was a fast hour. To final thoughts. We're about 7 minutes away. But but again, just my thought on that is I really think it's just a political football for Democrats to do with statehood for DC.
Oh yeah, on the license plate it says taxation with basically taxation without representation, and they want taxation with but the old joke on that is that taxation with representation is not much better than taxation without representation.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's certainly the case in DC, because if you think about their crime problem and the other issues, and they're out to lunch. I mean, occasionally.
I think it's time we bring back the DC control board.
Yeah, I think so too.
On DC, because this is if we don't do something now, it's going to become like Marion Barry's Washington DC.
Yeah.
Back when we were at NET, remember that was Marion Barry's DC. we were told not to get gas after dark at the gas station up on New York Avenue.
Yeah.
We were told lock your doors when you leave. So it's getting back to the old days of the merry days of DC.
And where we were wasn't supposed to be a bad area of DC, was it? I mean, we were about
a horrible area of DC. What are you talking about? It was a horrible area. It didn't get nice till we got past Union Station.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know how many times walking from the metro to NET, I had some homeless people ask me for money, and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of them hang out at Union Station.
Yeah, they do. They do.
I haven't been to Union Station in a while. It was beautiful. I loved Union Station.
They're supposed to do so. I thought they did. Didn't they do some renovations recently? But it's gone. Last time I was there, you remember that restaurant in the middle that was on the rise in the main concourse?
I think so. Yeah.
It's gone.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So we got
5
minutes to do. Yeah, 5 minutes to do our final thoughts. So we'll start with you.
All right, but they still have their food or the food court downstairs.
Yeah, they do, but it's not nearly as nice as it used to be.
Yeah, it used to be packed whenever I was there.
Yeah, Johnny Rockets is still there though.
Okay, no, I don't remember Johnny Rockets was there, and I don't know. Do you remember there used to have a store where you can buy flags?
Yep, that's gone.
State flag. They still have.
Yeah, I think it's gone.
Oh, that's too bad. I bought a flag there once, my Montana flag. Well, my final thoughts. Book event last night was good, so I was very happy about that in Old Town Alexandria, and looking forward to spring and spring training starting.
What is your Substack, by the way?
I don't have I got to think what the link is, but I've been starting to write now more and more. I'll get that to you, but I've been starting to write.
Yeah, you can see his writings on the Montgomery County Republican Club's page also. So, yeah, if you just go to MontgomeryCountyRepublicanClub.com and you can find his articles there.
Well, it's going well, and I've been trying to do 3 a week, and it's not easy to come up with 3 a week. But I've been doing that now, and I learn as I write, and I've discovered that the more you write, I think I get better. But also,
Paul Weyrich used to do a commentary every night at the end of his show, the Paul Weyrich commentary.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah, it's not easy. Even to 3 columns, it's not always that easy.
He wrote those himself, his commentaries. He wrote those. It's not like somebody would write. It's not like the producers would write it for him.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, Paul was something, but otherwise, looking forward to a good spring. And if I have any predictions, I think Haley probably drops out sooner than we think. I think she. Maybe she'll try to go past South. She says she's going to go past South Carolina, but I can't see it much longer after South Carolina.
Yeah, it's tough to do when you have no money coming in.
Yeah, exactly. And it just hurts her reputation in the future. DeSantis got out in time that I think he's okay for 2028. I think he's got a real shot, but she's already.
I think the ship has sailed on Ron DeSantis, frankly.
Oh, you think so? Well,
I think it's sailed, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's part of the reason why I think Larry Hogan is running for Senate is he can be a senator for a few years and then run for president in 4.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he's got a good shot, and I hope he wins in Maryland. Even though I'm a conservative and very different than him, but you still need that seat. And
what did Don Rumsfeld always say? You vote for the candidates you have, not the ones you wish you had.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's about it. So I'm glad to be back. I know I've been off for 2 weeks, but
technical issues.
Computer, car, just nonsense like that.
No problem. We're glad to have you back. Oh, my final thoughts. Let's see. We've got a bunch of stuff going on. We've got April 4th, the Maryland State GOP is doing a book signing party. We can get your own copy of this, autographed by Maryland's favorite Governor Bob Ehrlich. And I'm not sure the lovely Kendall Ehrlich, our favorite First Lady, will be there as well. I think it's in Annapolis, nice place. Come on out. It'll be after we switch back to daylight savings times. So it'll be light until about 8:30. So come on out. Also, I'd be remiss to say this: the Baltimore City GOP. Congratulations, guys! You have hit an out of the park for your Lincoln Reagan dinner this year. They've got Byron Donalds is their speaker, and that's happening March 20th. And my friends in Anne Arundel County have possibly the next Vice President of the United States, Lee Zeldin, speaking there on March 19th over at the BWI Hilton. Go to aagop.org for more details, and go to Baltimore City Republican Party. Just Google Baltimore City Republican Party, and you'll find the details for their dinner there. And it is 8 o'clock, and it's time to go on to Missoni's, my favorite Italian restaurant in the great state of Maryland, located in Perry Hall, Nottingham area. And everyone should go. It's got some great food, and it's go visit, check out Missoni's out there. It's not, if you're out in Baltimore County, I plan to go there. I'll be there over the weekend. But check out Missoni's in Baltimore County. Take care. Good night, everyone.
So yeah.